Rama 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 Hari Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo
Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Thank you very much, George. So, uh, we're now going to continue our reading and discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Uh, George, would you know where we stop?
Arbol, sir, from what Ate Rhea's last chat for me was text 23.
Can you put it
Chapter.
on the screen if you can?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pravin, you can read it. Text 23.
Sir, pardon me, we are at text 29.
29 na. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Text 29.
Here.
There you go.
Yeah. Text 29. Translation. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. Purport. Persons who are knowledgeable falsely identify with gross material consciousness and are full of material designations. This body is a gift of the material nature, and one who is too much attached to the bodily consciousness is called mand, or a lazy person, without understanding of spiritual soul. Ignorant men think of the body as the self. They accept bodily connections with others as kinsmanship. The land in which the body is obtained is their object of worship, and they consider the formalities of religious rituals to be ends in themselves. Social work, nationalism, and altruism are some of the activities for such materially designated persons. Under the spell of such designations, they are always busy in the material field. For them, spiritual realization is a myth, and so they are not interested. Those who are enlightened in spiritual life, however, should not try to agitate such materially engrossed persons. Better to prosecute one's own spiritual activities silently. Such bewildered persons may be engaged in such primary moral principles of life as non-violence and similar materially benevolent work. Men who are ignorant cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness, and therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them and simply waste valuable time. But the devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord because they understand the purpose of the Lord. Consequently, they undertake all kinds of risks, even to the point of approaching ignorant men to try to engage them in the acts of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for the human being. Haribol.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Pravin. So, it is advised in the Bhagavad Gita that we engage in certain activities for the pleasure of Krishna. Yeah, we are using the Bhagavad Gita for our and other similar um, spiritual texts for our advancement in trying to rekindle our loving relationship with Krishna. This is not the activity, or this is not the desire of karmis. No, Karmis are those people who are engaged in activity for their own sensual pleasure. Materialists. A materialist is a karmi because whatever he does, he tries to he tries to turn that into something that will benefit him. So uh, he engages in activities that will make him more attached to the material world, thinking that the material world is our residence. He is so convinced that this world is my home and sensual pleasure is the goal of life. Yeah, so they are very much interested in social work like that. Yeah, in altruism, nationalism, etc. They're so attached with that rather than trying to develop their spiritual life. They're not interested in spiritual life. They're just interested in trying to make themselves uh, make themselves successful in their attempt to serve their own whims, because that is what they believe in. They believe that we are the material body. This whole world is our home. I am only answerable to my own self, to my extended selves, family, relatives like that, or uh, my other uh, the other people who belong to my group. Yeah, that is the only thing that they are interested in. They're not interested in spiritual life. If you tell them about spirituality, they always look the other way. They are not interested at all. So this is very, very sad, because what is most important in life is to understand our real identity, is to understand who we really are. That is the most important thing in life. And this is the reason why material nature gave us this body. This body is considered to be a gift by which we can use this body for the attainment of the supreme goal. What is the supreme goal in life? The supreme goal in life is to get out from the miserable existence of birth and death, continued birth and death. It's actually a process of material existence. Yeah. So this is actually very sad for Krishna, and very sad for the great devotees of Krishna. Krishna becomes very sad when he sees his um, his children um, trying to waste this natural gift of the body. This body, the senses and the mind is actually a gift coming from material nature and ultimately coming from Krishna. So that we can use this, we can use our body, our senses, our mind to be able to develop our love for Krishna, develop uh, our understanding of who we really are, and eventually understand the real goal of life. But if we simply waste it, then uh, it is our fault because we wasted it. Krishna has given us the facility so that we can use it, yeah. But The problem is that we don't use it properly. We misuse it. We misuse it, thinking that sensual pleasure is the goal of life. Sensual pleasure will make me happy. These are all false happiness. This is not true happiness. So we read the next verse. Maybe Mandy, would you like to read that, Mandy?
Yes, sir. Haribol, everyone.
Haribo.
Translation. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your work unto me, with mind intent on me, and without desire for gain, and free from egoism and lethargy, fight. Purport. This verse clearly indicates the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord instructs that one has to become fully Krishna conscious to discharge duties as if in military discipline. Such an injunction may make things a little difficult. Nevertheless, duties must be carried out with dependence on Krishna, because that is the constitutional position of the living entity. The living entity cannot be happy independent of the cooperation of the Supreme Lord, because the eternal constitutional position of the living entity is to become subordinate to the desires of the Lord. Arjuna was therefore ordered by Sri Krishna to fight as if the Lord were his military commander. One has to sacrifice everything for the goodwill of the Supreme Lord, and at the same time discharge prescribed duties without claiming proprietorship. Arjuna did not have to consider the order of the Lord. He had only to execute his order. The Supreme Lord is the soul of all souls. Therefore, one who depends solely and wholly on the Supreme Soul, without personal consideration, or in other words, one who is fully Krishna conscious, is called Adyama Sitasa.
Adhyatma Sitasa. Adhyatma.
My glasses are not that good either.
No, it's all right.
Sorry,
It's okay.
and I'm not very good at these words. Sorry. So
No worries. Go
no,
ahead.
is that Nirvana? No,
Nirashi
Narashi means that
means
one has to act on the order of the master. Nor should one ever expect fruitive results. The cashier may count millions of dollars for his employer, but he does not claim a cent for himself. Similarly, one has to realize that nothing in the world belongs to any individual person, but that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. That is the real purport of Maya, or unto me.
Mayi.
Or unto me. And when one acts in such Krishna consciousness, certainly he does not claim proprietorship over anything. This consciousness is called Maya, or nothing is mine. And if there is any reluctance to execute such a stern order, which is without consideration of so-called kinsmen in the bodily relationship, that reluctance should be thrown off. In this way, many become Vigata Trivara, or without feverish mentality or lethargy. Everyone, according to his quality and position, has a particular type of work to discharge, and all such duties may be discharged in Krishna consciousness, as described above. that will lead on to the path of liberation. Haribol Namaste, sir.
Namaste, Amanda. Thank you very much. So here is a very simple instruction made by Krishna, no? That if you want to act, everyone in the world is acting. Everyone in the world is working. You cannot run away from work. You have to work in order to survive here in this world. Even if you're lazy, you still have to work. You still have to get up in the morning, get to the kitchen or get to the dining table and eat. That is still work. Yeah. You go out and try to just laze around. That is still considered work because you are using your body, exert efforts uh, for your own sensual gratification. You have to work. So everyone is not uh, everyone in this world is not free from work. Everyone has to work. Okay, but Krishna is saying that if you work, you have to work for the pleasure of Krishna. You have to work for the pleasure of God. Otherwise, the work that you're engaged in, no matter what it is, no matter whether it is morally good or immorally bad, yeah, it will have a karmic reactions. So everything that we do in this world creates a karmic reaction back to us. Yeah. So Krishna is saying, if you want to get freed from these karmic reactions, you have to engage in your constitutional position. Our constitutional position is that we are all servants of God. We are all servants and not masters. Only Krishna is the master. Only Krishna is the enjoyer. We are all servants. We're all servants. In order for us to feel happiness, to feel satisfied and fulfilled, we have to engage in our natural condition, in our natural constitutional position, and engage in what is known as our prescribed duties. If you're a teacher, be a teacher. If you are a businessman, be a businessman. If you're a housewife, be a housewife. If you're a uh, administrator, be an administrator. Everything in this world, you can still engage in those activities. But the activities that you're engaged in right now must be focused on pleasing Krishna. In other words, although it may appear that you're actually working in the material field, yeah, it may seem that you're not different from a materialist because a materialist also works for their maintenance like that. Yeah. But the difference is that a devotee, when he works for Krishna. When he wakes up in the morning, he offers this particular day to Krishna. My Lord, I want to offer this day to you. All of my strength, all of my work is an offering to you. And this is what Krishna advises us. All that we do, all that we engage in must be made as an offering to him. In that way, you don't get attached to the fruits of your labor, because everything is an offering to Krishna already. Yeah. Because engaging in activity for your own sensual enjoyment, for your own sensual pleasure, has karmic reactions. Whereas when one offers everything to Krishna, yeah, one gets free from karmic reactions. You get free from karmic reactions. Why? Because your intentions, your work, your energy is focused on serving Krishna's pleasure. So it's not about you anymore. The mechanics of karmic reaction is that when you do activities, you do it for your own sensual gratification, for your own sensual pleasure. That is the mechanics of karmic reactions, you know. So whether bad or good, you engage in activities, it will come back to you. So how is it possible to be free from karma or karmic reactions? Engage in devotional service, engaged in the pleasure of Krishna. So the same thing, you may be a cook, or you may be a teacher, you may be working just like anybody else. But because you're offering everything for the pleasure of Krishna, it doesn't create any karmic reactions. Oh, wow, wonderful. Yeah. This is actually a very wonderful wisdom made by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. So some spiritual organization, you know, they try to meditate and try to go to the forest and not do anything, because they know that whatever action they perform, there is an equal and corresponding reaction. So they try not to engage in activity, just meditate like this. For them, it is a way of veering away from karmic reactions, or veering away from engaging in more karmic reactions. But the devotee of Krishna is not like that. The devotee of Krishna continues to engage in his prescribed duty, very happy, because all of his work is done for the pleasure of Krishna. Because it is for the pleasure of Krishna, it doesn't have any karmic reactions. Okay? So, let us read more. Alinet, nandiyan ka ba? Alinet? Alinet?
Sorry po, I'm mute. Sorry, hindi ko na-mute. Sorry. One
Okay.
who executes his duties according to my injunctions and who follows these teachings faithfully without envy becomes free from the bondage of creative actions. Purport: the injunctions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the essence of all Vedic wisdom, and therefore is certainly true without exception. As the Vedas are eternal, so this truth of Krishna consciousness is also eternal. One should have firm faith in this injunction without envying the Lord. There are many philosophers who write comments on the Bhagavad Gita but have no faith in Krishna. They will never be liberated from the bondage of fruitive action. But an ordinary man with firm faith in the eternal injunctions of the Lord, even though unable to execute such orders, becomes liberated from the bondage of the law of karma. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions of the Lord, but because one is not resentful of this principle and works sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, he will surely be promoted to the stage of Krishna consciousness. Namaste.
Namaste, Elena. Thank you very much. So it is described here that one has to follow the injunctions, no? The injunctions of Krishna's uh, orders. Krishna orders Arjuna to do certain things. And as you know, Arjuna represents all of us. We are like Arjunas in our own little way. So whatever Krishna is giving instructions, that is our instruction. So his injunction is to make it so that we engage in devotional service, we engage in the pleasure of Krishna senses. Yeah. So in other words, if you simply follow the injunction of Krishna, the instructions of Krishna, then you will not be at a loss. You will always be gaining something, gaining spiritual emancipation, spiritual wisdom. Even though a person may not be perfect in his engagement of devotional service, even though he may not be perfect, but deep within his heart, he really tries to serve Krishna. He really tries to engage in devotional service. Yeah, but because of some uh, reasons, uh, a person may not be able to perfect his duty, to perfect his service. Even then, Krishna still accepts such service. Don't ever think that Krishna will not accept my service because I'm not perfect in my devotional service. Sometimes I falter like that. Uh, but just continue on. Krishna doesn't Krishna doesn't punish anyone from faltering. If you falter, just like if you fall down, just uh, just move on again. Try to rise up and move on in your devotional service to Krishna, because that is what your heart's desire is. Your heart's desire is to simply serve Krishna. A lot of people think that serving God or serving Krishna will not bring them any happiness because uh, they don't have any relationship with Krishna. They see Krishna as just an ordinary human being. The impersonalists see him as somebody just like you and me. That Krishna, when he comes to the world, he acquires a material body like that. So therefore, they don't have any faith on Krishna. Maybe he's just somebody who is an enlightened being, yeah, but they don't have any faith in him. They think that when they serve Krishna, that they lose happiness. Why would I serve somebody? Just better to just serve myself or serve my extended selves. That way, I will be able to enjoy the fruit of my action. That way, I will be able to feel happiness. But serving somebody, you know, especially God, I don't even see God. I don't have any reverence for him because He doesn't even appear in my vision like that. Such a faithless soul will only lead you to anxiety, will only lead you to suffering and pain, because that is not our natural function, that is not our natural condition. As spiritual beings, our natural condition is to be engaged in the loving service of Krishna. Yeah, and you can never imagine when you engage in devotional service, Krishna 101% helps you out in your attempt to serve him. He assists you in everything you do. If somehow, material nature is so strong, Maya is so strong, Krishna will help us out. And this is the reason why devotees of Krishna, after a while, because, when we engage in devotional service, when we engage in Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, our heart slowly becomes soft. Yeah. It becomes clarified. It becomes purified. Our mind becomes purified. And slowly we're able to see things very clearly as they are. Whereas before, we don't, we don't have any faith that Krishna will assist us, will help us out in serving him. But as we move on in devotional service, we begin to get purified. Our consciousness begins to be purified, and we are able to actually feel Krishna. We feel a higher taste. And this is the reason why a person who feels a higher taste, a devotee of Krishna, is able to give up lower taste in life. He is able to give up sensual pleasure because it is lower taste. It is a lower taste. And this is a result of our surrendering to Krishna. The result of surrendering to Krishna means that we get more attracted to Krishna in our daily life. And the more we get attracted to Krishna and serve him in devotional service, uh, the more we get disinterested in the sensual pleasure. That is the scientific way. Yeah, because one cannot uh, artificially try to engage in devotional service without feeling something, because two things will happen here. You get to have a higher taste, and the second is that you feel uh, a transformation from you being a lover of this world, and now you are engaged in loving Krishna. There is a transformation immediately. Yeah, so that you get very excited to, for instance, engage in devotional service. You get excited to have association with other devotees. Yeah, so every spiritual activity, you become gung ho. In other words, you become very interested, becomes very excited. It does not happen artificially. It does not happen like that. it happens scientifically. Okay, so let's read more. Janner, would you like to read?
Text 32. But to those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not practice them regularly, are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled, and doomed to ignorance and bondage. Purport. The flaw of not being Krishna conscious is clearly stated herein, as there is punishment for disobedience to the order of the supreme executive head. So there is certainly punishment for the disobedience of the order of the supreme personality of Godhead. A disobedient person, however great he may be, is ignorant of his own self, of the supreme Brahman and Paramatma and the personality of Godhead. Due to a vacant heart, therefore, there is no hope of perfection of life for him.
Wow. Thank you very much,
Continue.
George. Sige,
Herbal
continue pa.
sir.
One more. Go ahead.
Text 33. Translation. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows his nature. What can repression accomplish? Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness, he cannot get free from the influence of modes of material nature, as it is confirmed by the Lord in the 7th chapter, text 14. Therefore, even for the most highly educated person on the mundane plane, it is impossible to get out of the entanglement of Maya simply by theoretical knowledge or by separating the soul from the body. There are many so called spiritualists who outwardly pose to be advanced in the science, but inwardly or privately are completely under the particular modes of nature which they are unable to surpass. Academically, one may be very learned, but because of his long association with material nature, he is in bondage. Krishna consciousness helps one to get out of the material entanglement, even though one may be engaged in his prescribed duties. Therefore, without being fully in Krishna consciousness, no one should suddenly give up his prescribed duties and become a so called yogi or transcendentalist artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and try to attain Krishna consciousness under superior training. Thus, one may be freed from the clutches of Maya. Airball, sir.
Haribo. Wow, very clear indications here, no? When a person decides not to serve Krishna, uh, Krishna gives that facility for him. In other words, Krishna doesn't want us to veer away from him. Krishna wants us to serve him. That is his desire because he knows that when we engage in devotional service, we become happy. We become fulfilled in life. Yeah. He knows that. That's why when he sees his children trying to veer away from him, you know, totally ignores the injunctions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, like that. He just wants to enjoy separately from God. Krishna becomes very, very sad. He doesn't get angry, but he becomes very sad. And because material nature has its own laws. It has its own laws and rules, you know. So if you engage in something that is not not in your own condition, not in your natural condition, then you suffer the uh, uh, the reactions of your action. You suffer. You begin to feel pain. You begin to feel in anxiety, etc. That is what happens because that is not your natural work. Your natural condition is to be engaged in devotional service. But if you wish to get out from it, Krishna may not want you to do it, but there's nothing he can do because he respects our freedom. We all have our freedom to serve or not to serve. Yeah. And Krishna always hopes, he always hopes that we choose service. We choose devotional service rather than trying to satisfy ourselves. He always hopes. Now, on the other hand, many people in this world may be very very well educated. They have these different titles after their names. MA, PhD, MD. There's so many titles after their names, and the problem with these people is that they become puffed up. You know what puffed up is? Puffed up means they become proud of themselves. Wow, I have achieved all of this. I have achieved all this knowledge by my own strength, etc. So the problem is that even though, despite the fact that you are a very, very well educated person, or you can be practicing meditation, trying to separate yourself from your body like that, you know, uh, but without devotional service, without Krishna consciousness, our own strength will not uh, lead us to Krishna, will not lead us to Krishna. There has got to be a devotional attitude. There has got to be love and devotion in our attempt to rekindle our loving relationship with Krishna. Otherwise, all of these trials, all of these activities in trying to in trying to elevate yourself will be unsuccessful. It will be unsuccessful. Why is it? Why will it turn into failure? Why? Because a person doesn't have enough faith that Krishna is the source of everything, that he's the cause of all causes. That the source of my knowledge right now is not really coming from me. If I am a very intelligent person, I am able to achieve all this material knowledge and wisdom, not because of my own strength, but because of Krishna. If you have this kind of mentality that everything is owned and controlled by Krishna, then we are in the we're in the right path. If you put everything in Krishna's hands, even though you may probably study uh, economics or mathematics or computer engineering or what have you in life, you will not be able to achieve this level of perfection without Krishna, without Krishna's help. And besides, when you're able to achieve all this material possessions in life, what is there to be gained? Tell me, what is there to be gained? You may be able to use that for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay? And after that, what happens? You're going to give it all up by that particular activity, by that particular knowledge. You will be able to achieve fame. You will be able to achieve, financial, financial, uh, stability. Okay. But all of this will get flushed down into the toilet of time when you're about to leave your body. And the happiness of the so-called individuals, they can't take it with them when they leave their bodies. At the time of death, you cannot take anything, even just 1 cent. You cannot take it. Nor can you take your happiness with you in your next life. You are going to leave everything behind. So what is the gain? What is the gain of achieving material material achievements? There's no there's no gain there actually. An intelligent person, a devotee of Krishna sees this in his heart and simply follow in the instructions of his Guru Dev and the injunctions and instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So even though he may not be materially endowed with intelligence like that, yeah, he may just be a simple farmer or simple street sweeper, yeah. But when he engages in devotional service, he feels so much happiness. And that happiness, okay, when he leaves his body, at the time of death, he is going to carry that with him in his next life. That is the difference between a karmi and a devotee of Krishna. Okay, so hanggang dito na lamang po tayo. We will stop here. Do you have any questions? May questions kayo? Elinette, would you like to do the exit kirtan?
Let's get my guitar.
Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Haribol.
Haribo.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Snapeshtaya Bhutale Shrimata Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Snapeshtaya Bhutale Shrimata Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Te Namo Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupa
Radha Krishna Prasthayate Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasade Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol 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 Jaya Jaya Jesus Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol, Nitai Gaur, Nitai Gaur, Hare Bol, 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 Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Jaya 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Haribol, Haribol. Salamat po.
Haribol, thank you very much, Alinet, for that wonderful exit kirtan. Maraming salamat. I would like to thank George and the Kaban League family for the assistance, being my co-host to this morning. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Thank you.
Daghang salamat, sir. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. Also, I'd like to thank all the readers. Mr. Praveen, thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po.
Yeah. Sharni Cozy, thank you for coming.
Haribol, I'm late. Naiwan ko phone ko.
It's
Pasensya na.
okay.
I'm
It's all
driving.
right. No worries, no worries.
Yeah, sir.
Uh,
I just want to inform everyone, just in case I'll be late for Q&A tomorrow because I will be traveling, going to Vermont. So just in case, maybe George could help me for that.
yeah, you just talk it out with George. George is ever ready to help.
Harbol. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sir, aakyat po kami ng Abra tomorrow. Babiyahe po kami ng 4.
talaga.
But
Opo, may
Abra.
prasyada. Opo, dadalawin
Uh,
namin si Kendra para mag-prasyadam distribution dun, sir.
that's very nice. That's very nice activity. So, sige lang. Thank you very much,
Haribol,
George.
namaste.
Namaste, Alinet.
Krishna, wala din po akong bukas. Sorry po. Sorry po.
So, um, I don't know. Usually, pag Sunday kasi, some who are not attending the Bhagavad Gita attends on the Sunday. Yeah? Yun ang nangyayari. So, anyway, let's see tomorrow what's gonna happen. Okay, Sharni?
yes, sir, Haribol. Yes, sir. Let's play it by ear. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys, thank you very much for coming today. Have a wonderful and blessed Christmas in your end. Thank you very much. So, uh, take good care of yourselves. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Jaya Krishna, Jaya Nitai Gaur, Haribo.